What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Proverbial Life Podcast. So, today I want to do a reaction video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I don't know if I've ever done one to a song. So, we're going to do a review on a song that I'm hearing is racist. Well, that's a strong charge. And so, I want to test that. I'm a pastor of a small church in a small town, and the song says, try that in a small town. This song was brought to my attention by someone at my church. They said, have you heard that song by Jason Aldean? And I said, who's Jason Aldean? Not my genre of music, but he said, oh, try that in a small town. You got to look it up. And so I said, I will. And then I forgot about it. And then I saw a reaction that someone did to it. I said, oh, hold on. Let me listen to the song. And I listened to the song and I said, I'll let you see my live reactions to that here in a moment. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get that notification bell so that you are aware of every video I make. All right, let's do this. We're going to listen to the song by Jason Aldean, and it's called Try That in a Small Town. And I need you to let me know if you think this song is racist, because I'll leave my remarks for the video. All right, let's go. Oh, right there. Right there. Look at that flag. Look at those cops. Look at those white guys. Just joking. Let's continue.
Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like.
Ooh. Okay. So he's coming in strong. The imagery here, for those of you who are listening and not watching, is pretty strong, right? You see someone carjacking, you see someone robbing a convenience store, you see this lady walking up and down the street, pointing her middle finger up to the cops, and you see the brassness of people. Yeah, so let's continue.
Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down.
All right. Let's go. Yo, my man said, try that in a small town. So this reminds me of a statement my dad used to say. He said, Edwin, someone may beat you to your house, but don't let them beat you through your house. That's the sentiment. In other words, somebody may be able to fight you, or you have to defend yourself outside your house, and there's a need for that. But don't ever let no one run through your house. In other words, at all cost, defend your home, because once you lose your home, that's it. That's where he was going. Right? He didn't verbalize it in that detail, but that was the point, right? Do not lose ground in your home. And that's what he's saying here. All right, y'all doing all that out there, it's wrong. It's not right. But you come try that over here. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but you ain't going to beat me through my house. Okay? So you come try that over here and you watch what happens. Come on, let's continue.
Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
Before we look at the second verse, he says, I recommend you don't. I'm telling you that all that stuff you're doing that's violating other individuals, that is violating people's rights because of your selfishness, because of your brass, your lack of submission to authority. I'm telling you, all that, you better not try that over here. You better not cross the line. right? Because if you do, you're going to regret it. And I'm going to just leave it at that. You're going to regret it. Okay. Well, you should take heed. That's the point, right? And I think that's the pushback that he's been getting is, oh, this is inciting violence. We've heard that language before, right? He's invoking or provoking violence. It's like, no, I'm giving you a promise and I'm giving you something for the sake of your protection. Okay? I'm letting you know that all the stuff that you're actively doing, which is violence, which is, a breaching of other people's property, all that stuff that you're doing, yeah, that ain't gonna work over here. You come try it. If you want to test it, come try it, and you're gonna find out. That's what he's saying. We take care of our own over here. Come on. Now, what if we all had that mindset? See, I want you see people they think okay, well, a small town is all white people, right? And you're gonna hear he gonna say in a second, a good old boy that's racist, right? No, listen, you apply that to your area. What if the community looked out for one another? And we see some knuckleheads, we see some people who are violating, we see them do something, and we speak up and we say, no, that's wrong. What if we all did that? Right? What if we just didn't all mind our business, but we all minded our family's business, but then also cared for our neighbors? There'd be a lot less stupidness that takes place in our communities and in our towns. Let me finish this song. I'm never gonna finish this song. Let me listen.
Son that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town.
Dude, put some anger in there. He said, try that in a small city. Now this is a Christian channel, so I ain't gonna use the verbiage he used, but you got the sentiment, right? Come try that over here. Whoo! You gotta love it, right? Fathers and men protect, right? That's what we do. That's what a mother bear does, right? A mother bear, you get her angry enough, she gonna protect her babies. And that's the thing, y'all. There's gotta be some ownership. It's my home. It's my kids. It's my town. This is my community. It's my church. This is my body. This is my mind. We just right? And we say, no, nothing is going to breach this without there being repercussions. Period. What if we had that mindset? Come on.
See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
My dude's giving recommendations. I recommend you don't. I love it. I love it. I do. I do. And listen, y'all, country music's not my style. It's not my thing. I know it is for many of y'all. Good for you. Enjoy. But I like this. I like the riffs. I like the music. I like the lyrics. I like the message. So, maybe I'm a future country music listener. I don't know.
Try that in a small town full of good old boys. Raised up right.
The good old boys raised up right. Okay. Now, some would take issue with that. Good old boy. What is a good old boy? Somebody, small town, somebody who, is typically characterized as hunting or fishing, right? Carries a gun or a knife, two knives, one in his pocket or his waist and one in his boot, right? If the other one gets confiscated. That's a good old boy, right? You could take that and say, well, that's racist. Well, apply that to your culture and to your context, right? He's a local. He's a local boy. He's a good old boy. Uh, uh, you could add any kind of verbiage you want, but you know what he means. You know what he means, right? You come try that with some of us people who take pride in our stuff, right? Who have who live like I tell my kids this sometimes, and I say this is a family joke. You ready? Some insight on a family joke. Whenever we leave the car or leave the house and we're about to do something public, I said, y'all act like y'all been homeschooled. Okay. What's the joke? What's the joke? The point is act like you have a mother and a father. Act like we taught you the right way. Now they're kids, right? That isn't an excuse, right? And I mean it. There's truth in every joke. And I say, act like y'all been homeschooled. Well, there's truth to that. Okay. Act like you got some sense. Act like you got a mind. Act like you got parents that discipline you lovingly and correct you and guide you into the truth. So act like you got some sense. Well, he's saying the same thing. He said, we take care of our own around here. We take pride in our stuff because we've been taught the right way. And he's not saying, oh, only white folks been taught the right way. He's not saying only good old boys, but he's got a context in which he's writing this song to and a message, right? The bigger message is we need people to rally up and act like the people who have sense, the people who have pride in the good things that they've learned and the culture that they've been able to develop in their homes and in their families. Let's stand for that because it means something. Let's stand for it because it's not for naught. And we can pass this down to our generations. Right? That's what he said. He's like, I still got my grandpa's gun. Well, good. Good for you. Take pride in that, that's yours and that's been passed down. And maybe in your context, it isn't the gun. Maybe I still got the brass knuckles my grandpa gave me. Well, hold on to those things. And if you need to protect your home and your family, listen, I'm telling you, you try that out there, but don't come around here. And if you do, I recommend you don't. That's what he's saying.
If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town.
It is. You're wilding out.
Try that in a small town.
Let me say this, man. When you uncheck evil, it grows. And we see this even naturally, right? Give you a different illustration. You think of weeds in the yard. I take a lot of time to cut the grass in the front and in the backyard. And the reason why it's harder for me to maintain the beauty of my yard is because there's these weeds that keep coming up. And so I've got to remove them and I've got to extinguish them. And so there's a process in which you do that without destroying the lawn. Okay. So in the same way, we need to eradicate and destroy and get rid of evil and wickedness. There's means that God uses in order to accomplish that end, right? It's not violence, just going out there and starting trouble, but we have a constitutional right and a God-given right to protect ourselves. So you could just as easily say, try that in a small town, or you could say, uh, try that in the Ramirez home, see how far you get. Right? That's the mindset. You try that because in this home, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. As for me and my house, as the father, am going to protect my family from physical harm, from spiritual harm. So I advise you don't try that over here, lest you feel the repercussions of it. And that's the point. That's the point.
Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
These farmers are dropping their own crops for the day. A friend is in need and they've come to help.
It's what this community and a lot of our communities stand for. Somebody needs some help, you'll get it.
Try that in a small town.
Come on. All right. All right. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. You let me know. Now you can look at some of the imagery and go, well, there's a there's a bunch of white people, right? Oh, the positive is the positive of white people. What about the positive of black people? I see negatives of black people. Now, I think that's foolishness, right? One, there isn't only the negative imagery of black people. See a couple white women, some couple white people doing things that are just egregious and breaking the law, right? So you see that. But secondly, this man is an artist making music in his context, and he's being true to who he is as an individual, right? If I were to make a song like that, again, it's not my genre of music, but if I was, let's say I did try that in a small town, it'd be imagery of my family and my upbringing and my home growing up, and it wouldn't be only white people, but that's okay because that's his context and that's his audience, and that's all right. So what I'm saying is, for you, think through that and apply it the way you're at. Maybe you're not from a small town, okay, all right, but there's some pride, there's some dignity that you can have in your own home, right? And you start applying that to your church, your mind, your body. Have some pride, have some dignity for the right thing, to do the right thing, to stand up for what's right, to fight for something worth fighting for, and to live for something worth living for, and to die for something worth dying for. See, but when you don't have any ownership, when you don't have any interest in something, then you don't care for it, right? You don't care for it, and that's the thing, man. We live in a culture, and it didn't just start, but this has progressively been the case where we live in a culture where everyone gets a pass for everything, and everything is racist. And you know what happens when everything is racist? Nothing is racist. And when nothing is racist, everyone's racist. And that's the problem. You lose the emphasis of language and the importance of words, and they become watered down. And guess what? When words become watered down, people can walk all over them and transgress them and remake them and reform them into their own likeness because there's no standard. And that's what postmodernism is. And that's what dismantling the structures that we have seen throughout the years, building up even to now. That's what all that has led to. It has led to chaos. Why? Because ultimately we reject the creator, and we reject his laws, and we reject his ways. And as a result, these are the ramifications of that. People do what they want to do, when they want to do, how they want to do, with no accountability. And I say, you come try that over here. And you should say the same thing, especially if you're a Christian, especially if you're a man, especially if you're a woman. You should think and grow and desire the same things. God, for the glory of your name, you be honored, and let me be faithful with what I have before me and protect it with all I got for the glory and the honor of God. Kudos to this song. Come on. And I like it. I like it. So maybe you'll hear me start listening to some country music. I don't know. We'll see. If you, let me do this in closing. Give me some recommendations. I might start listening to country music. I'm not anti country music, but I think of country music like I think of a cat. Eh, I like dogs better. so, so if we got a cat, all right, I love the cat. It'll grow on me. And I'll leave it at that. All right, y'all. This is The Proverbial Life, a podcast where we encourage Christians to look to Christ, live wisely, and leave a legacy behind for generations to follow. Grace and peace, y'all.